Hi, my name is Jason Dennen, author of 8 Days Till Sunrise. First, I'd like to thank the Boulder Bookstore for putting my video on their website and also carrying my book in their store. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Tell us about your book.
Yeah, my book starts with a skydiving accident. I was coming in for a landing, and 150 feet off the ground, a huge wind came from behind, picked me up, and slammed me through a cattle fence and into the side of an airplane hangar going over 30 miles an hour. I was immediately rushed by helicopter 50 miles away to the nearest level 1 trauma center. I hit my left side so hard, 10 of my 12 ribs broke, impacted the ribs, went into my heart. My heart exploded out of where it normally sits, called the pericardial sac, ended up on the right side of my chest. The doctors had to perform emergency surgery to put the heart back. They would later tell my family that they had never performed that surgery on anyone before because no one had ever made it into the hospital alive in order for them to perform that surgery. I spent 8 days in a coma where they fixed 20 bones and 5 organs that I hurt in the accident. After waking up from the coma, I spent 3.5 months in the hospital. I had to relearn to walk and then do 11 months of rehabilitation. After the doctor told me I may never run again, I decided to sign up for a triathlon and test his prognosis. And 1 day short of the 1-year anniversary of the crash, I raced in a triathlon again. And the book isn't mostly about triathlon, it's really about what happens when something unexpected happens and you have to recover from it. All those skills are transferable to anyone going through anything difficult in their life. And then also, what do you do with a second chance at life? And I got a second chance at life, so I had to decide what to do with it.
What inspired you to write this book?
Well, the inspiration came from a speaking engagement I did. I finished speaking and someone came up to me afterwards and said, I have a friend that's really struggling through life, and do you have anything I could give them to give you with your message? And I didn't have anything at the time, and I realized on that drive home that maybe I was missing a whole population of people that really needed help and may not ever come to one of my speaking engagements. So if I had a book that day, I could have gave it to that gentleman and he could have given it to his friend and helped them out with the same message. And obviously I kind of felt like I must not be doing enough. Maybe I'm missing out. So I decided to write a book in order to help other people.
Where did you imagine your path through life would take you prior to your accident?
I wasn't sure. I was going down a path of working too many hours, not spending enough time with family, missing family events, not spending enough time with friends. It was going down a wrong path. I thought, is this really what I'm on the earth for, just to work? So I really needed to change that. And luckily the accident came right at the right time to really break that cycle and make me see what was really important in life.
What helped you to survive emotionally and mentally the trauma your body went through?
Well, mentally, I always think that we are a sum of our habits. And I had gone through difficult things in the mountains or triathlons or in various survival situations. And so these things weren't new to me. I had done hard things before. And when they said to me, hey, you're going to go through, it's going to be hard to recover from this, I said, that's fine. I know how to do hard. Emotionally, I really thought of my family and my friends and how guilty I felt that they had to deal with all the things that happened after the accident. I was the one who decided to jump out of the plane, but they were dealing with the repercussions from the accident. And I felt a tremendous amount of guilt. And I really owed it to them to get back to a place where they didn't have to take care of me anymore. I could get back to my normal self. So having that, emotional feeling of making them not worry about me anymore was really how I got through it and recover.
What made you decide to set your goals as racing a triathlon?
Yeah, I hadn't done a triathlon in about 6 years prior to the accident. I hadn't been doing those anymore. And it was really a way, because in triathlon, I had to make sure my entire body worked, my leg, my arm, my heart. And it was really a test to see if all those things had healed. So about a week after I got out of the coma, it was one late night. I was just laying there by myself, not able to move. And I thought, well, what does recovery mean to me? And I thought, well, triathlon tests my entire body. And so I decided that I was going to do a triathlon. And that was my goal. And that would signify to me that at least I was back to as close to normal as I could get.
Why did you feel it important for you to share your story?
Well, early on in the hospital, I realized that just sharing the story did a lot for people. people would come into my room, and mostly hospital staff, and always asked to tell the story. And at first I thought they were just asking to see if I was working mentally correctly after crashing into that building. But as time went on, I realized that every time I told that story, it opened up for that person to share something difficult that they went through in their own lives. And I realized that sharing stories of difficulty helps people get through tough things they're going through in life. And it was part of my responsibility as survival to help people with what I went through, or the lessons I learned with what I went through, and hopefully they can apply some of those lessons to their own lives when they're going through difficult periods of their life.